Here we go. On today's episode of Video Marketing Madness, cheap tools you can use. They're not free, but they're pretty darn close. And today's episode is made possible by freevideoeditor.co. Are you looking to start video editing, but you don't want to spend those professional prices? Well, now you can start off with a free editing tool at freevideoeditor.co. Download the Shotcut Video Editor along with all of our goodies so that you can start editing like the pros without the professional prices. Again, that's available at freevideoeditor.co. And leave off the last M for mama. And with that, let's play that funky music, Steve. Here we go.
Hit it, Ray.
Here we go. Maybe, here we go. We're having all sorts of issues today.
He's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy. His skill is where it's at, even if he's a little fat. He's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need. His YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing so sick. He's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy.
And it's a radio show about video marketing madness with Ray the Video Guy. And I'm Steve Sleeper on the Earn.Show podcast network. You can find us on Facebook on all of Ray's pages and profiles and all that kind of stuff. And we're on YouTube and we're on Apple Podcasts and what else? Twitter and
Instagram, TuneIn, and
we're everywhere.
We're everywhere, man. Be everywhere now, and that's what we do. We get everywhere, especially on that YouTube and Facebook stuff. So good stuff. You can find us. Just search us out. You want it,
baby.
You want it, baby. You want
it. Google Play. We're on Google
Play. Google Play. Nobody cares about that, but
nobody cares about it. But we're there.
We're there. If it exists, we're going to be there. Why not, right?
Exactly.
So, Steve, what's going on in your life these days?
Well, not too much. I lead a boring existence, but I understand you've had some communication with Comcast today.
Yes, well, we've had a lot of issues today dealing with internet and other sorts of things. In fact, for those of you listening right now, normally we broadcast this live on Facebook, but we're having some internet issues, so we're just recording it, and we'll stream it out later onto Facebook for everybody. But we've had a lot of internet deals. I came in this morning, and my internet wasn't working at all. Actually, came in this afternoon just for the radio show, and the internet wasn't working, and I'm trying to figure it out. And well, we recently moved offices, and we moved from literally the other side of this wall here was my old office, and then we moved into this office here. It's a different suite number, and we had Comcast. Hi, Comcast. We had them move the internet from there into here, and when they did, apparently what they did was they canceled our other contract completely, and they created a whole new one, and it's a whole new account and everything. Well, they sent me a bill saying I didn't owe anything to them, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I must have overpaid from there or whatever, and so they're fixing it up in the new place or whatever. And no, what it is because they closed the old account, they opened a new account, so the old account was indeed a zero because I'd already paid it, but they were charging a new account. But they never sent me a bill for this new account. I didn't realize it was going to be in a different thing. And so the reason they shut it off was I hadn't paid that other bill. So now I'm calling them on the phone trying to figure out what's going on. And the automated system picked up what phone number I was calling from, and they connected me and said, oh, your account, you owe $200 or whatever. I'm like, $200? That's a lot. So I paid that. And then after that, I chatted with somebody in the chat box to find out what's going on. They're the ones who explained, oh, it's a totally new account. And it's like, well, I log into my Comcast account and none of this information's there. So literally it took like a half hour of him explaining how to fix all that and get everything in there. So, we took care of that. I don't know why they don't tell you this or just automatically do it. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So we did that. And then I called and talked to somebody on the phone because now I can see my bill, and my bill is literally $50 higher. And so I'm calling them, and well, you got a new contract, and so
$50 a month.
It's $50 more a month.
Oh,
so yeah, so it was $150 or whatever. Now it's like over $200. And so I'm like, hey, what's going on here with this? And they're telling me, well, it's technically a new account. So when we created the new account, that's the price we gave you. I'm like, I moved 3 feet, and so you're charging me $50 more now? Oh yeah. And so I'm arguing with them about that, and I was literally on the phone with them between all these different things for over 2 hours today. It's absolutely frustrating and absolutely the worst customer service. Terrible, terrible stuff for a not very great service anyway, and way overpriced for what we're getting. But
Well, didn't one gal tell you that she didn't get paid for having people pay their bill?
Well, you know what I said to her? I said at one point, I said, you do realize that, you know, like your bills are paid by customers who pay their bills. And if everybody leaves because you treat them this way, you know, you're not going to have a job. Well, that's not how I get paid, sir. I'm like, oh, you don't get paid from people that pay the bills to the company you work for. No, I don't get paid that. Okay, if you say so. So
Yeah, all right.
there you go. That's the fun little story there. So Comcast, you know, look out. I'm after you. I'm not putting up with your crap. So
Well, you know, and suddenly I feel a little better about Paychex because I use them to use our payroll, and their frontline staff is terrible. It's like, and this is going to sound bad, but it's like girls right out of college named Brittany or Brianna that, you know, have no clue. They're millennials. They don't care about anything. They don't care about me. I mean, one time I got a notice from the state of Nebraska that said I wasn't paying unemployment tax. What? They said, well, you know, what's the deal? And I said, Paychex, and they go, oh, yeah, they suck. You know, the state of Nebraska. They didn't exactly say that, but okay, get it worked out with them, and you got to pay the unemployment tax, but we'll waive the penalty. And so I get in touch with Paychex. Not our fault. You didn't tell us about it. Wait
yes,
a minute.
it's a new thing. They never heard of it before.
I look, you know, you're supposed to know about all that kind of stuff. That's why I have you doing the payroll instead of doing it myself. Well, it's not our fault. Okay, so you're going to get it taken care of? Yeah. 3 months later, they didn't pay the unemployment tax. And so I get in touch with my rep, and she's gone. Well, you'll have to just call back next week. No, I'm not calling back next week. So I got a supervisor on the phone who went, I'm glad you didn't call back next week. We're going to take care of this. And they had to get power of attorney and all kinds of stuff. And my rep had told me it was already taken care of. Yeah. So, but at least with Paychex, if I go over their head and get a supervisor, I can get things taken care of right away.
Well, the end story with the Comcast is I finally did get into somebody who's going to supposedly call me back Tuesday with a better price. So we'll see if that actually happens.
Yeah, but in the meantime, you're on the phone with them for 2 hours. You'll never get that time back.
Nope, I'll never get that time back. But it's cathartic to get on and yell at people, though. It gets all that anger out of you. So, all right. But with all this money that we're losing through Paychex and through Comcast and all these other things and taxes and who knows what else, we've got something we want to share with you. Cheap tools you can use. And this is going to help you to do a lot of things without spending a ton of money. And by the way, I should mention, this is our fake 200th episode. And the reason I say fake 200th episode is this is the 200th episode since we started making cards that look like this, that started from 1 to 200. But we're probably more at probably close to 300, I bet, at this point in time. But officially, from the Video Marketing Madness, since we started doing it this way with the cards, we're at the 200th episode. We just don't know how many there was originally at this point. So
we started June of 2013.
Wow.
Now
That's
I can't
crazy.
remember. I can't remember what I had for lunch today, but I can remember that.
So 5.5 years, almost to the button here. 5.5 years we've been doing this. That's amazing. That's longer than most podcasts, that's for sure. So exciting stuff. But today we want to give something special to you, which is these 200 cheap tools you can use. And, you know, this is the inspiration behind this. And this will only matter if you're watching this right away. If you're watching this in the future, it's not going to matter. But this was, because it's not going to exist anymore, but this was inspired by Todd Gross and Paul Pana, who put together a program just in time for the holidays, because it's almost mid-December here, still early December of 2018 as we're recording this. And they put together a package of 12 of the best softwares from the year 2018 all together for $37 one time. And in that product package for $37, they've had one company put in a program called HQ Webinars, which is normally sold at up to $97 a month. And it's included with these 12 softwares for $37. Wow. And it's got Video Builder, and it's got Live Reel, and it's got Steve, you'll love this. It's got Joshua Zamora's SyndLab in there. You know, all of these softwares, and literally about $3.50 a piece, one-time payment. And I mean, it's incredible. It's only for 7 days. So if you're watching this 8 days from now, it's not going to work for you. But amazing, amazing, amazing product package. And so that made me think, well, what can we do to help people that are watching this show? And I thought, well, let's talk a little bit about some cheap tools and free tools that they can use to be able to work in their business. And these are things that span all sorts of different gamuts as far as setting things up. So the first tool I want to talk about is the one that, of course, we use to lead off the show with, and that's freevideoeditor.co. It's a free video editing program, Shotcut. You can download it. You can start using it from that website. And the great thing about Shotcut is it's constantly being improved. They're always working on it. It's 100% open source, free product. And, is it as polished as Final Cut Pro? No, of course it's not. But it'll do most of the things that these high-end editors will do. It's a little more clunky, but it certainly gets the job done. And I've done many projects on this particular free video editing tool, and it's very, very good. So the first one we want to talk about that's the Shotcut Video Editor, completely free. You can get it at freevideoeditor.co, and we throw in some great goodies there as well. And speaking of video editors, another video editor that is really good, and I'm talking about, this is an editing program that can easily work with the big guys like Final Cut Pro and Premiere. In fact, I'd say it's actually on a different level than even Premiere, and that's DaVinci. If you haven't seen DaVinci Resolve, that is an incredible program, and we're talking about, this is a program that high-end Hollywood studios use to produce films with. It's got amazing tools, extreme high-end tools, kind of difficult to use. It's a little less intuitive, a little more difficult to follow how to do everything, but there's a lot of tutorials online. Now, you may be saying to yourself, well, if it's such a super high-end video editing program, why is it free? Well, the reason is because what they do, and this is very smart, is the regular version of it is free. Then they've got a high-end professional version, that costs a lot of money and has a lot of extra things that you'd never need in them. And then they make money by selling things like plugins that you add to it. So it's kind of, you get that base and then you can add to it with all these different things. But by itself, it does everything you'd really want to do. So it's an amazing program. You can get it now, DaVinci Resolve, and I believe I don't even know what number it's up to now, but whatever the latest version is, you can get that there. Now, another program, again, a video editor that is an amazing editor. It kind of falls in between the super high end there with DaVinci and the lower end with Shotcut, and that would be HitFilm 3. HitFilm 3 works on the same type of principle. You get the basic version completely for free. It does everything you want video editing wise, and then of course you can buy add-ons and different things to it. But the base version is free, and it's a very, very good program. Now, mixed into there, you've also got programs like iMovie for the Mac, which is, I think it's either free or $5, depending upon where you get it. It's also the same version that you can get for your iPhone and for your iPad, so that's another great option. So it might cost you a couple of bucks there. I can't remember if they give that one away or if they charge you a little bit for it. But a great video editing program. And by the way, if you don't know much about iMovie, they try to make video editing very simple, sometimes to the point where it makes it tough to edit what you want because they kind of try to make it too easy for you. But they also have amazing built-in stuff that you can do, just incredible videos with all these built-in templates and whatnot. And really, the dirty little secret is iMovie is essentially Final Cut Pro, the high-end video editor, with just a slightly different front end to it. But it's basically the exact same software underneath it all. So it's a very good free or almost free software that you can use for that. On the Windows side, of course, you've got Video Movie. What is it? What's the Microsoft Movie? Now I can't even think of the name of it, but the free built-in one there is Movie Maker or whatever it's called.
Movie Maker, yeah.
Yeah, which is not a great software, but it's not bad. It's definitely improved a lot over the last couple of years and can help you to start editing videos pretty effectively, pretty quickly. Still missing some of the more high-end features, but a lot of them are in there, so it's a very nice program to be able to pick up and start to use. Now, speaking of video, one of the things that I do all the time is create screen capture videos. That's where you literally record your screen and what you're doing. The tools that I use, can get a little expensive. Camtasia is like $300. ScreenFlow is, it says $129, but if you buy some of the upgrades, and it can be about $200 or so. But there are some free options you can use for that. One, if you're on the Mac, believe it or not, most of your screen capture tools are now inside of QuickTime Pro. Or, excuse me, just QuickTime, really. It's the one that comes with your computer. If you open up QuickTime, you can actually record your screen, as well as you can record from your camera. You can do a voiceover recording. So it's got a lot of those different features in there. Not a lot of add-ons to it, so you can't do a lot of the things that you can do in Camtasia or ScreenFlow, but you can record your screen and you can edit it afterwards, and that's all built right into QuickTime. Another software that you can use is Cam Studio. And Cam Studio, again, is a free software that you can download. It's similar to the way that the Shotcut video editor works. You download it. It's an open source program, and you can use that to do all your screen recordings and do some more of the fancy stuff in there. So that's a great little option. Another option that starts off free is Jing. Now, if you're not familiar with Jing, it's by the same people that create Camtasia. It's not really meant to be a full screen capture tool, but it does capture your screen, video, and still shots, and it will actually host the videos that you create as well so that you can share them with others. And you can record your screen and take the file and edit with it afterwards. So similar to the way that QuickTime would work, you can do the same types of things in there. So that's a great option. And a final option is Screencast-O-Matic, once again falling into that open source screen capture tool that a lot of people update, and it's a pretty good tool that you can get for free. Start doing screen capture videos, and it does a pretty good job. When it's free, well, you can't complain, right? You got to love the fact that it's free. All right, moving into another category. When it comes to doing live stream, today, of course, our live stream doesn't seem to be working very well due to internet issues. But when it comes to live streaming video, we all need some great tools in order to do that. And there are some very expensive tools, from $10,000 computer systems to software that costs, $100 a month. And all of these things do a great job. However, there are some great free options. For instance, OBS, a very popular program that many people use, is a free live streaming tool. My son is a video gamer. He uses this all the time to stream his video games. You can do it to stream your videos, to stream yourself live, to stream all sorts of things. You can get it at obsproject.org, I believe, or .net, one or the other. Anyway, just look up OBS on Google. You'll be able to find it very easily.
Pretty sure it's org.
Is it org? Okay, good.
I think so.
And like I said, it's a free program. You want to get the OBS Studio, which is the newer version. There's an older version, and then there's the Studio version. The Studio version is Mac and PC, so you can use it on any system, and it does a really, really good job. Not a lot of super high-end tools with it, but it's very compatible to other programs that do live streaming for you, where you can do some pretty neat stuff. Go live from the desktop, which is a little tougher to do. So that's another tool that is completely free that you can get today, and should be a big help for you. I love that one. All right, so let's move into a completely different category and talk a little bit about file hosting. Now, if you run a business like I do, you probably have a lot of different types of files that you need to send to people. For instance, you've got documents, you've got graphics, you've got images, you've got videos, you've got all these different things. Maybe you create products and you need to send them to customers. So customers buy and they have to download that product, and 1,000 people are going to be downloading that product all the time. Well, one of the most popular places to put these files is on Amazon S3. And S3 is a tremendous platform for doing this. However, it can also be very expensive. Now, it does start off nice. You get so much free. So as long as you're not doing a lot of stuff, you can actually get on there. You can do it for free. However, I've found an alternative solution that absolutely blows it away when it comes to price. And according to them, even as they say, it's much better at the speed as well. Now, I don't know if that's the case or not. I've never sat there and downloaded the same thing to see which one's faster, but they claim it's a little bit faster than S3. It's definitely a lot cheaper, and that's Wasabi Hot Cloud Storage. And that's at Wasabi, wasabi.com. Wasabi is very similar to S3. You put your files into folders that are on the cloud, and then you send out links to your customers so they can download products. And the great thing about Wasabi is they don't charge you for what's called egress. And what I mean by that is, let's say that you're on Amazon S3 and you've got a 10 megabyte file and you put it onto your S3 account. Well, if 1,000 people download that, you've now done 10,000 megabytes. Well, they're going to charge you for 10,000 because even though you've got one file, 1,000 people downloaded it over and over and over again. So they're going to charge you every time that somebody downloads that data. And the bigger the file, the more they charge you. Well, in Wasabi, it's very different. You put that 10 megabyte file up there, whether one person downloads it or 1 million people download it, there's no change in the price because it's still a 10 megabyte file that they're storing. And so at the end of the month, you're talking about pennies on the dollar. In fact, my Amazon S3 account, I was getting charged monthly between sometimes up to $1,200 in a month. You know, usually it hovered around $300 to $500 a month, but sometimes it would be up to $1,200 if we did a launch and people were downloading instant spokesperson videos all the time for, a week. So we switched to Wasabi, and my bill on Wasabi for all the same files. So I moved all my instant spokesperson videos are downloaded from Wasabi. All of my stock video footage is on Wasabi. So people, when they buy stock footage and they download it, it's all coming from Wasabi. My bill that used to be $1,200 a month, $10 a month. So literally a $1,190 savings from what I was paying on a busy month to Amazon. So highly recommend. Again, it's not free, but it's so darn close that you might as well jump on something like that. Wasabi, it's just an amazing platform. Absolutely love it so far. And the great thing is, when I jumped on it, it was still kind of new. Nobody had really heard of it yet. And, I found some issues with it, and I contacted the people that create it, and, they made changes to it, specifically because I asked them about it. For instance, kind of funny, I actually got mad at them one time, and I sent a letter to them, and I said to them, I think that you guys have an insane person and a genius, and they take turns deciding what's going to happen at Wasabi. And this is what I told them in the email, because literally it was like they would be like, yes, we do this, and it's this absolutely amazing thing, and then they would say, we do this. And you're like, what? That ruins everything, But they've fixed a lot of those things. Like, for instance, this was one of my favorite ones. When I first started with them, you could upload your files, and you didn't have to pay much of anything, but there was no way to get a download link. You had to literally go in, copy the name of the file, create the download link, put it in there, and then copy all of that and put it in. I mean, it was ridiculous. And they finally added a button. When you upload a file, there's a button that says download link, and then you get the file name, the link to that file. It was amazing to me that they didn't have this before. I'm like, how does this even work if you don't have that? But they finally did add that in there, so that was a big plus, because before then it was nasty. I mean, when I'm talking about moving thousands of files where I had to individually create every single link as I went along on these thousands of files. I sat there for days, literally on a Saturday. I sat there all day just doing the instant spokesperson videos, creating each of the link by hand. So it much better with that, but highly recommend. Can't recommend it highly enough. Wasabi.com. Download that today and get that on there because it's an amazing tool that can definitely help you out. Okay, another tool that I want to talk about that is for those of you that like to create graphics out there. Maybe you don't want to spend $38 a month on Photoshop or buy it for $600. Well, there's a product out there that's been out there forever, and it's called the GIMP, which is a great name, the GIMP. And the GIMP is a software tool similar to Photoshop. It allows you to create layered graphics just like you would in Photoshop and add your effects to it and your drop shadows and all that. And you can make some amazing graphics directly from this tool. And it's free of charge. You can download it just by, just search up GIMP, G-I-M-P in Google, and you'll be able to download it. Great thing about it is it's been around for so long, you can go to YouTube, you can look up tutorials on how to do different things, and you can do some really amazing graphics with that, as well as photo touch-ups. Now, while we're on the subject of graphics, this is one that I started to look into recently, which, I've heard about it for so long, and I never paid much attention to it until the other day, and that program is called Canva, C-A-N-V-A. Now, if you're not familiar with Canva, Canva is a software that allows you to create all of your internet web graphics, things like banners and social media backgrounds and buttons and like all these amazing things. And it's completely free of charge. Everything is inside there. You've got templates, you've got graphics, you can bring things in, you can use text. Just amazing the stuff that you can do. And the fact that this is a free program just absolutely blows my mind. So you definitely want to check this one out. Canva, look it up again on Google, Canva, and you'll be able to get some amazing stuff. Lots of fun with that. Now, Steve, do you have any free tools that you like to use? I don't know if you have any there. I'm throwing you under the bus here by throwing it out to you, but.
Yeah, I think everything I pay a small price for. On the video side, I was using or am using Sony. Well, it's not Sony Vegas anymore. It's Vegas.
Yes.
And it's not as good as when Sony owned it. I mean, it's I still use it because I know how to use it, but it's a lot jankier now. I think I've figured out ways around all the jankiness, so it works out pretty well. And you can get a version, an editor for like $50 if that's all you need, and that's all I need. I do a lot of podcast editing in it as well. I did figure out how to use Shotcut. I just I wasn't real busy, and I decided I wanted to learn Shotcut. Not as intuitive, but you can figure it out. It
absolutely. Like the interface isn't as pretty, the buttons aren't as pretty, and whatnot. But the work you can do with it is still really, really good, and it can be a lot of fun to build some stuff out of that. And it's a lot better than spending $50, $100, $500, whatever it is for some of these other ones. So, if you don't mind a slightly less pretty interface, well, then it might be just for you. Be a good one.
TubeBuddy. I have the free version of TubeBuddy.
TubeBuddy, boy, that's one of my favorite tools. And our clients, by the way, we could do a whole video just on TubeBuddy. I think a whole episode. But TubeBuddy again is something that starts off completely for free. So you can go to. In fact, I'm going to send you to tubebuddy.com/RayTheVideoGuy. Go to that, and you'll be able to get the free version of TubeBuddy. Now, if you don't know what TubeBuddy is, essentially, it's like a YouTube add-on, but it's more than that. It's also, YouTube, you got statistics and you can do comparisons and all sorts of crazy things. And what we do is our customers, when we take on our customers, we always get a copy of TubeBuddy. So when a new customer comes in, we're going to set up their YouTube channel. We're going to get them onto TubeBuddy. And the reason for that is because when you're in, let's say you're in your web browser and you're working on their video, TubeBuddy's going to add a whole bunch of extra tools to the YouTube interface. So literally on YouTube. So for instance, when you're typing up a description, it's going to tell you how many words you have left in that description before you run out of it. Same thing on the title as well as in the tags. So you'll really be able to make sure that you fill out as much as possible without going over. And it makes life a lot easier. It allows you to create thumbnails right inside the YouTube interface. You just click on the thumbnail creator, and it'll help you to bring in images and add text and all that kind of fun stuff. It's got all sorts of statistics that it can help you with. And then in the TubeBuddy tools itself, with the paid version, and again, this is an upgrade, you get all sorts of statistics. You can take your client and put them in there, or your YouTube channel, put it in there, put in other clients' YouTube channels, and then run a comparison, and it'll tell you, what keywords you're ranking for and where your competition is ranking for. And I mean, it's just an amazing tool, and it starts off completely free. Just head over to tubebuddy.com/RayTheVideoGuy, and that will help you to do that. Now, if we're going to mention TubeBuddy, we should probably also mention another tool that starts off free that works very similar to TubeBuddy, and that's vidIQ. Now, if you're not familiar with vidIQ, it's at vidIQ.com. I believe that's correct, but just search vidIQ and you'll be able to find it. This also takes your YouTube interface and adds new tools to it. So when you're searching for a video, it's going to give you search information on the right-hand side of the page. When you're looking at a video's view page, it's going to give you more information about that particular video and the sharing numbers and a whole bunch of really cool statistics that can help you to make sure that you're doing well, that you're beating your competition, or just to learn what your competition's doing so you can then go and do it better. So that's another thing that you can get completely free, vidIQ.com. And they, again, do have an upgrade, but you can start off using it completely free. Very, very good tool for doing some competition search on YouTube. So makes it a lot of fun. And,
I found with TubeBuddy there's so many things in there that make YouTube so much more functional. I didn't even think they weren't part of YouTube. And then something happened with the plugin, and I'm like, where's this? Where's that? Where's
Yeah.
this? Did YouTube make changes? Then I realized I had clobbered the plugin or the extension.
You have
and
to
just put
you
it
have to
back in.
reconnect every once in a while too. So sometimes you'll go in there and it'll say TubeBuddy not connected, and you'll have to reconnect it because I think those connections are only a limited time, and then YouTube cuts them off.
I think
so you
that
have to reconnect.
I think
so.
that was it, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've had to do that many times, go back and reconnect. But yeah, simple things like, for instance, when you open up YouTube, and YouTube has improved this a little bit lately, but before you didn't have some of these things. You had a little TubeBuddy button that had a drop-down menu that would take you to different areas in YouTube that you previously had to like click on your name and then click on Creator Studio and then click on this. And now you can go directly to that. It made life a whole lot easier, including the one thing that blows my mind that wasn't in YouTube, which is a link to your own channel.
Right.
Which was not in YouTube itself. Even when you went into your own account, there was no link to go to your own channel. There is now, by the way, on the new version of it. If you click your name, it'll take you to the channel, but it didn't do that before. So that was a big help there as well. But that's a tool. Again, as far as free tools go, you got to install this. It's absolutely worth it. There's no reason not to get at least the basic version. And really, there's no reason not to upgrade. It's not that expensive, and it provides so many tools. Especially if you have a client, you've absolutely got to splurge and get the paid version for that. Because when we go into a client meeting, and we do it over one of the next products we're going to talk about, by the way, Zoom, and do a meeting, well, we share the TubeBuddy screen and we show, hey, here's your competition. Here's what they're doing. Here's where you are. Look, you've got way more views than anybody else in the area. Here are the keywords. You're dominating. You're in first place here. You've got first, second, fourth, fifth. And it shows, where you rank and all these different keywords, where your competition ranks, with you on there so that you can check it all out. It also provides you some information that YouTube doesn't provide, which is they actually now break it up between not just mobile and desktop, but they have phone, desktop, iPad and tablets, and now they even have smart TVs. They have that listed, and you can see how much of your views are coming from smart TVs. Now, this is something YouTube has said they're going to be talking about and adding into statistics soon, but these guys, the statistics must already exist kind of hidden in there, because inside TubeBuddy, you can break it down by that and see how many are watching on your TVs. And by the way, it's a lot more than you might think. One of my clients, we just did a report the other day. The amount of people watching on a smart TV was up 44% of what it was. Now, that was because before that category didn't exist. It was kind of just lumped in with desktop, I think. And so you see like desktop drops 40% and TV goes up 40%. And so now you see the breakdowns, and you see, most of your views, probably 40% are coming from mobile, 10% are coming from, tablets, and then 20% are coming from desktop, and I don't know how many percentages we're up to now, 40, 50, 60, 70, and then, another 20% are from TV, and that doesn't add up to 100. But you can imagine it's something similar to that. But it shows you all that. And that, by the way, is a great indicator, because at least with my clients, they are dying to get in front of the cord cutters, the people that aren't watching traditional TV. Most of the clients I'm talking about are personal injury lawyers who do a lot of television, so they want to get in front of all these people that aren't watching television anymore. And so that statistic really is a huge help. And the great thing is YouTube is going to be adding the ability to target people on TVs pretty soon, supposedly. And once they do that, I think that's going to be a big boon. So yeah, big deal. Be able to get TubeBuddy on there and start doing some of these things. Highly recommended. Now, the next thing, and probably the last thing we're going to talk about today, because we're getting a little long-winded, is one of my favorite tools for doing meetings, and that's Zoom. Now, if you haven't used Zoom yet, maybe you've done meetings where you've done, Skype chats, video chats, and those are pretty good, but they tend to be a lot, kind of clunky, and they don't work all the time and everything. Zoom is a great system to get started doing these meetings at zoom.us. And what it allows you to do is to start meetings where you can have video chats and audio chats. You can share your screen. They even have the ability to do an entire webinar with it. And I think, once you get to the webinar, they charge you a little bit, but it's not super expensive to do that. But it starts off free. You can start doing meetings right away without paying money. And they do a really good job you don't see a lot of downtime with them like you do with Skype. They're not as clunky as Hangouts used to be. So, we did they don't call them Hangouts anymore. Now it's like a Google meeting or so. Can't remember what the heck it's called, but we did one this morning and the video quality was just, it was horrendous. It was just terrible. But Zoom, we don't usually see that. We see it's got a very good video base. The quality of the video is usually pretty good. We don't see a lot of dropouts. Kind of similar to what Steve and I use here. We use something called Memo Call, which is built into our live streaming system. And of course, this one gets good video back and forth because you don't have a million people using it. It's just, however many people are running live streams at this time that they show up on. So highly recommend you check out Zoom at zoom.us. Start doing a live video meeting right away. And that's that. So Steve, what do you think? Any other last minute free things you want to talk about?
No, I think that pretty much covers it. I was running it through my head, and of course, I kind of zero in on one particular thing now that I've been testing for quite a while, and I use videos in it. But that's the GeoGenius thing where I'm ranking stuff for Google Maps. So I've kind of changed what I've been doing. Video's still a big part of it.
Definitely not free.
No, and that's a different deal altogether. Because I don't want to take you down a path, because that's a whole other show. If it even is another show, it's kind of a different.
We should get those guys onto a one of the episodes one of these times and actually talk to them. We haven't done that in so long.
Yeah, they're pretty good. And what GeoGenius does is it's a formula for moving your Google My Business listing up, or moving a client's Google My Business listing up by using all of the Google properties, including Google Maps, which is a big thing. And YouTube's part of that, and Google Sites and everything else. So that's pretty cool. And so I'm still doing a lot of YouTube, but a lot of the tricks that I was using before, not as much as before. But TubeBuddy, one thing I will say about TubeBuddy is you can add on functions, and they don't charge you $1 million. They let you add on a function for $3, $5, $10, and you can kind of ramp up. So I really like TubeBuddy.
We buy the $50 version or $49 version for all of our clients.
Sure.
Up front, so
yeah, and you're real high end online video marketing, so that would make sense that you'd be doing that. But yeah, it's this is a lot of good stuff, though. Especially on the editors, because that's the biggest, one of the biggest expenses out there, and you can get functional editors and either get them free or get them pretty dang cheap, and yeah, so that's cool.
Yes, indeed. So, all right, so there's our show. Let's see. Today is what, the 7th of December. So we got probably one more episode before the holiday break, and so we'll put together a nice one for episode 201. So thank you for joining us today for episode 200, which is really probably 300, but we don't know how to count. So we'll call this one 200 and call that a day. So with that, for Steve Sleeper, I'm Ray the Video Guy, saying if we don't see you, have a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, and a Happy New Year, and we'll talk to you all soon. Let's hit that music one more time. Here we go.
Ciao for now.
Here we go. Here we go. If it goes. Oh, it's going to go.
He's Ray the Video Guy, yeah, Ray the Video Guy. His skill is where it's at, even if he's a little fat. He's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need. His YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing so sick. He's Ray the Video Guy, yeah, Ray the Video Guy.